In the previous learning, we had seen that body behavior can be explained by Newtonian physics. However, feelings or emotional energy or energy waves flowing through the body needs quantum mechanics, at least metaphorically, if not scientifically, to understand and manage the energy behavior. Energy is always in motion. Its fundamental nature is to flow, move, and convert from one form to another. For example, consider the water in a dam. Due to height, the water acquires potential energy. This static energy is not useful unless water starts flowing into kinetic energy, which turns the turbines to create electrical energy. The electrical energy stored in a battery cell is useful only when the energy starts flowing in a closed circuit. Similarly, the emotional energy in the body should not be stacked in the mind, in thinking loop, in fear, depression, anxiety, and should flow by expressing them. This fact we will symbolically correlate with Maxwell's equation in coming learnings. In the strange world of quantum physics, tiny particles like electrons and photons don't have a definite state or position until someone looks at them. Instead, they exist in a kind of many possible states at once. It's called quantum superposition. Imagine you flip a coin in the air. While it's spinning, it is not just heads or tails, it's kind of both at the same time. Only when the coin lands and is watched does it choose to be either heads or tails. The act of observing forces the particle to pick a definite state. Observation is an important aspect of reality. Like quantum physics, watching, observing, and witnessing, that is wow, are important aspects of the reality of our life. We all use our five senses to watch or witness. Our eyes watch external objects, skin feels or witness heat, cold objects. Ears can hear or witness sound, music, voices. Tongue can experience or witness the taste. Nose can smell fragrances or bad odors. So these five senses let us witness or watch the outside world. However, witnessing, observing, or watching, that is wow, is not limited to five senses. It goes beyond them. For example, when I walk, I can notice hands moving, legs stepping forward and backwards, shoulders shifting. This observation or awareness happens even when I am not actively looking with my senses like eyes, skins, or ears. So there is something inside me which is watching. Literature referred to this as soul, God, Om, Satori, Yin Yang, Brahma, Tao, and so on. However, I was not inclined to blindly accept these borrowed names from books or literature. I wanted to have my own experience and understand this inner observer for myself. As we are still exploring this concept and not clear what it is, let's give it a temporary name, that. So, there is a that inside me which is witnessing. And my experience suggested that that is always present 24/7 by 365 days. It is silent, subtle, quiet. It is not assertive like our thoughts or memories. It does not make its presence felt. It's just there, sitting quietly and does not bother if one is aware of it or not. So it's our choice, freedom, will, or wisdom to give attention to it or not. In addition to physical things that can watch emotional energy without using five senses or going beyond the five senses. This includes emotional energy resulting from joy, anger, excitement. This emotional energy is not just mental or neurotic ideas, but they come with subtle energy which one can feel inside the body. When one feels joy or pride, one might notice that the chest feels full or energized. During sadness, anxiety, or depression, one might sense a heavy or sinking feeling inside. So, this inner observer that is always watching our emotional state. In quantum physics, the idea of observer is complex and interpreted in different ways by scientists. Some well-known interpretations include the Copenhagen interpretation, many words interpretation, von Neumann-Wigner interpretation, and more. We don't need to dive into these details, but the role of the observer is crucial to understand how reality works at the quantum level. That's true with our that observer as well, symbolically if not scientifically. The inner observer that finds fascinating parallels with ideas in the von Neumann Wigner interpretation and Copenhagen interpretation. In other words, that is like a conscious witness, the part of me that actively watches and brings awareness to what's happening inside and outside. Modern neuroscience suggests that when we consciously observe, it activates the prefrontal cortex. This regulates emotional energy and restores balance in the nervous system, creating a state of inner harmony. In Vedanta, this witnessing is called Sakshi Bhava, the attitude or state of being a silent, impartial witness of our surroundings and emotional energies. Through experience, everyone must have noticed that when we ignore or don't pay attention to emotions like fear, anger, or even joy, they tend to become more intense, unpredictable, and difficult to control and manage. It's like leaving a wild animal unattended. It might act out in surprising or difficult ways. But when we simply pay attention to these feelings, just observing them without judging or trying to change them, they start to calm down. Neuroscience supports this fact too. This gentle watching allows the energy to settle into a clearer, more understandable form. It's as if the wild energy takes on a shape I can recognize and work with. It is like watching a scared child settled when you pay attention to it, or like a fog of emotional energies clearing when the sun of witnessing shines. Let's take one example. Imagine I lost my job. This naturally creates a strong emotion, fear of an unknown or uncertain future. This fear is something all humans and even animals experience. If I am not consciously aware or watching this fear, it can quietly take control of me. Subconsciously, it might grow into anxiety, stress, or frustration. These feelings often lead to changes in my behavior, such as speaking in harsh tone or getting short tempered, become easily irritated, or picking fights, turning to unhealthy habits like alcoholism. And once this cycle starts, it can be very hard to break. But when I witness, meaning I become aware of my fear energy, I can manage it better. I will notice how I feel low, think about how to manage my finances, or consider the best steps to take next, search job, and so on. This conscious witnessing helps one to handle our emotional energy in a healthier and hygienic way. When I observe my fear, it's like I am helping that emotional energy collapse from many possible forms into one clearer, more manageable state. Instead of fear spreading into many possible negative reactions, it collapses or settles into something I can manage and work with. Observation gives us control over our emotional energies. It helps us to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively, leading to better emotional balance and well-being. So to summarize, it's a realization that watching, observing, or witnessing wow is a potent tool. It plays an important role in the realities of quantum particles. Similarly, observation plays a great role in our reality, in our real, practical, day to day life by helping us to manage and express our emotional energies. This brings a step closer to everlasting JFB, J for joy, freedom, and bliss.